Hi there, Nigel Saunders of KW Bonsai. Today we're going to look at my ficus root over temple, and we're going to see what's going on with the roots. They've been growing pretty well all winter with a covering of moss on the temple. So we're going to take the moss off and see what's going on with the roots, and then do any corrective work to the roots that we can do. The roots that bother me are these two straight ones down the front. I want them to kind of follow the stone pattern, so it kind of steps down, just to get it to look a little more to scale. Let's start peeling away some of the moss here, and we'll see what's underneath. I'm not going to save this moss because it was left to grow really thick. I don't think it'll be that easy to get off. Exposing our roots here. Eventually our temple. There's our temple. And we do have some roots growing in the moss here. So we've just got to see what we want to keep and what we want to prune away to the jungle. I'm just cleaning moss away from the temple still. This is the root that goes into the temple. It grew and actually split the temple apart. So it's actually a really nice root. It looks very, very natural. So we definitely want to highlight that root in the composition. It's a root that's kind of wrapped itself around here. I think I'll get out my mist bottle too and start doing some spraying. It's kind of dry under here. So you can see here we're getting into some real Tomb Raider kind of stuff with these roots coming down, gripping the rocks, actually splitting the temple apart here. Looking good, that root. I like it. I'm kind of liking this view too as a front view. The tree's got a nice slant. We could do a little more fixing with the branches to make it, you know, a little better. I am going to mark this as a possible front. So I just put a piece of wire there on the edge of the pot. I have to decide what I'm going to do with this root here. I did cut it off. It looks like I've cut it off once before, and this is regrown. It's still kind of in the air. I may try and possibly reposition it so I can get it closer to the temple. I could even try splitting it. That's a common technique with ficuses, is that you can split a root down the center, subdivide them into two, and eventually they repair themselves and look natural. Anyway, I'm going to keep cleaning some moss off. I've still got a lot of moss on the trunk here that I got to get rid of. So I'll continue cleanup on the tree, and we'll come back and make some decisions, hopefully. On the other side of the temple, we're getting some good roots too. We've got some really nice roots coming down on this side. Here's a view of the back of the planting. Got some good roots coming down here. It's interesting right here. There's a root coming out from the temple that I have no idea where it comes from, how it got there. It just grew through a space, I guess, or something. Anyway, a very nice root there. I definitely can't cut this root off here. It's just too mature. It's got nice mature bark on it. It subdivides nicely down at the base here. It does have some, you know, roots growing out from it. Yeah, some aerial roots. And it's not the worst root in the world. It really isn't. Maybe I'll get used to it. I don't know. Just like this root, I'd be really happy. We'll see. I do have to make a decision about it. This is that front view that we marked. It's a nice possible front view. I really like it, actually. I can rotate the tree around so you can see some of the other possible views. So I'll start rotating it around. I'll just kind of stop it because I know it gets kind of blurry on the camera if you're rotating it all the time. The planting's actually looking pretty good from a lot of views, which is what you want in a bonsai. Just makes it harder to pick a front. I've reached a decision on this root, what to do with it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get some small rocks similar to the ones that I made the temple out of, and I'm going to place them underneath the root to fill in that gap, and it'll look really natural then. So yeah, so I can just fill in that gap with some stones similar to these ones, and it'll look really good, I think. Might even look better because it'll have some rubble. So I'll have to find my stones that I made the temple out of. I know I had a lot of extra ones. If not, I know where I can get more. These stones are from the Hamilton escarpment. There's a million of them at the bottom of the escarpment, all crumbled where they fall down from the cliff face. So it's just a matter of going around and picking up the right size ones, and you look for small rectangular ones. So if I can't find my original stones, I'll have to do that. I'll have to go back to Hamilton and collect more stones. I am going to Hamilton next weekend for the bonsai show at the Royal Botanical Gardens in Burlington. I have a video from 2 years ago of the Father's Day show. So the show's a week later this year. It's Father's Day right now, today. So happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. And yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. I think that'll look really good. Filling it in with rubble. I've got a handful of stones. I'm going to try and place some underneath the root here. It may take me a while to get a natural look to it. I'm just going to place them in temporarily, and I may cement them together if I like it. So it'll become a permanent part of the temple. Parts of it. That's looking better already. Kind of justifies the root sticking out like that, or the root doesn't stick out anymore. I'm trying to get the square edges of all these stones kind of facing out, so they look more like cut stones. And then we want kind of a pile of rubble at the base here. We'll just randomly place the rest and give it a shake and see how it looks. So I really like, filling this gap in with the stones. I think it's the best solution. It's going to work and it's going to look really good. So I'm going to mix up some hydraulic cement. Hydraulic cement you can buy in any hardware store, around here anyway. It's a cement that dries underwater, so it's sort of, it doesn't depend on being exposed to air or, the water evaporating out of it. So I guess it's more like an epoxy or something, but it is a cement. So we're going to cement these stones. To cement stones, you need these stones wet. The other stones on the actual temple are quite wet, so I'll do a little cleanup work and then we'll cement these stones in place. Here's the hydraulic cement. It's called watertight hydraulic cement for concrete and masonry. So I'm just going to put a little bit in this yogurt container and we'll spray some water in with it. I have to figure out how this opens up. There we go. There we go. We'll just put some in here. I don't think we'll need a whole lot. If we run out, we could always mix up a bit more. We'll take that away. So you don't want the mixture too runny. So it's best just to spray a bit of water in, mix it up, spray some more. You wonder about the consistency of Play-Doh. So not too runny, not too thick, just right. Ah, it's getting nice now. See, these bonsai tools do everything. They mix cement, they scrape moss off, they get trees out of pots, tweezers. That's looking good. Let's start cementing. I need to clean out the area where I'll be cementing to. There's a lot of roots in this area that I'm going to pry loose and try and get them away from the area we're cementing. That looks good. And I'll get my toothbrush and just try and scrub that area down. It's looking incredibly clean for a 1,000-year-old temple. I think that'll do. That's good. Now we're going to get our first stone, which has been soaking in water. And we're going to get our cement. So we're just going to do it like bricklaying. We're going to put some cement on the stone, like that, on two faces. And then we're going to place the stone in where we want to position it. And we're trying to fill that space up, that gap between the roots. Gap's looking good. It's getting filled in. Still have a few more to go. Working with stones like this is actually kind of fun. I enjoy doing it. It's a little messy, but it's not too bad. The hardest part is picking the stones you want. My cement's hardening up on me. I have to mix some new cement. Right off the stones here. The roots everywhere. I was going to mix some more cement up, but I'm looking at it. This is kind of our front view here. I think we've closed the gap quite nicely, actually. The rest of the stones will just be positioned as rubble at the base. After you're done with all your tools, be sure to clean the cement off them. You probably could get it off when it dried, but it's a lot easier when it's still wet. I'll turn the front of the tree back to the viewers. Let's have a look at it. So there's kind of a shot of our temple with the roots on it. Looking good. That's all the work we'll be doing on our tree for this video. We are going to be repotting it soon. and doing more work to the top, so there'll be lots more work on this planting coming in the future. So Nigel Saunders of KW Bonsai, do something green today. Make something last a little longer. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.